Batman Superman World's Finest Annual 2025, Mark Waid writing with Dan McDaid on the art. So this is chapter 3 of the event, which means that it might not take up as many of the issues that I thought it was going to, because it had the annual. But regardless, this is the next part of it, and it's got an interesting cliffhanger, I'll say that. And because it is, they're still kind of adhering to the idea that these chapters will be more set in the past. So this has got some of like Grodd actually recruiting some of these villains and like convincing them of like what's going to happen. The big part of it early on is he's assembled them all, and he's like, hey, you're all total failures. And it's also worth mentioning that technically he's possessed his younger self's body, which I don't know if that's going to be important, but he points it out at the very least. So that's what's going on right now.
So they set that up in the first chapter in World's Finest, right? When they did the swap with Superman.
I guess they did.
This is a thing that Grodd can do. So this is my big sticking point here, where I'm feeling like it's needlessly elaborate, where we're doing some timey-wimey stuff through Grodd's telepathy.
It's a telepathy, man.
That brainwave powers. We're just going to say that.
Okay.
Yeah. And that, I don't know, man. I don't know where this is going. It's very, very weird. It's much weirder than I thought it was going to be. Because I'm thinking we're going to do, time travel stuff with the Justice League eras teaming up to take out this Legion and whatnot. But it doesn't seem that that's what we're doing. We're telling a story on two different timelines still that are occurring at the same time.
Nah, we're going to get to that. Like, we're absolutely getting to what you just suggested later on.
But what's up with okay, so where's Grodd gonna go then?
Okay, Matt.
Where's Grodd right now?
Matt.
Yes.
I don't think this is that weird. For some reason, you think this is weird. I think this is actually pretty straightforward.
Yes.
Grodd is beaming himself back. Now, why Grodd just didn't travel back through time? I guess because traveling through time is hard. Because part of the plot here, right, is Grodd's beaming himself back into his own brain, right?
Yes.
And talking through himself. Part of the plot is that he then has to explain to the others how to steal certain technology so they can all come to the future.
Yes.
That's what the gist of the plot of this book is that he's saying, hey, all the Justice League can't know that you've stolen a bunch of stuff that'll help you time travel, so we have to kind of be sly about it. We have to try and steal bits from here or there. So he gives the various teams different things to do. And the Justice League find out that all these robberies are happening, so like they split up and go and try and like deal with it. But that's basically what this is that, hey, you all have to go find out get the technology, tachyon beams and this and that, steal this thing from Star Labs, steal this thing from wherever else, and you can all come to the present day where I am, and we can take on this new Justice League together. And he also scares them by saying, hey, they've got a watchtower now, they're in space, and they've got all like 100 members. Like, we have to do this. So, and he also makes a big speech to them about how they're all failures, including himself, because we've all failed to beat them.
Yeah.
So this was kind of his big sales pitch. The big thing at the end, because there's some action obviously with them fighting the Justice League in the past, before they get
the different teams.
Yeah. Before they're able to time travel to the present day. The big thing at the end though is because Joker goes to hit Robin, who's there, with the fancy hammer that's at the place they're at. I can't even remember where they are. But Robin disappears, and Batman's like, shit, we've lost Robin, and they're like, we have to find him again. And unlike last time, because this is the plot that happened way back early in this book, is that Robin and Supergirl got trapped or lost through time. He's been lost through time, and the plot continues from there, and the Legion of Doom show up, or go to present day by the end of the story, seemingly. But the big thing that the cliffhanger ends on is that Dick has also traveled through time. Like, him getting hit with the hammer is brought him to present day, and the cliffhanger at the end is Batman seeing young Dick and being like, wait, Dick? What? How? And then Nightwing walks in and sees himself, and that's what we end the book on. Which is a fun cliffhanger, to be fair. It's like, okay, we've got Big Dick and Little Dick. What's that smirk, Matt? Why are you smirking at me?
Just because it's very funny. This Python lady though too.
Oh yeah,
right?
so
With the magic.
yeah, so there's like a magic lady helping Grodd do the plan. But part of the plan to convince, because if the Justice League are aware they're going to travel through time, then they'll basically be preparing for them the entire time until they show up again. So Grodd's plan is to make her the scapegoat, and he leaves her behind, and he's like telepathically done some stuff. So the Justice League will think that she was behind everything that happened, so that they don't think there's any like ongoing threat that's going to happen as a result of these robberies. So that's how he closes that sort of time loophole or time plot hole, and they all think that she's to blame, and that's all it is, and they're none the wiser. So they're all surprised in the present day when the teams show up again at some point. So yeah. Oh, actually, sorry.
It is a lot more when you break it down like that, and I'm probably not reading on a lot of cold medicine. It does make a lot more sense.
Oh, I did mix something up. This is the problem with reading so many books in one day.
Back to back.
It's not the magic lady who stays behind and is a scapegoat. She's doing all the magic. She makes Cheetah the scapegoat. Cheetah's the one who's left behind and is told that she's going to be the scapegoat. And she didn't know that. She didn't agree to that. So she's pretty pissed. So sorry, I mixed that up there in my memory. The magic lady goes with the Legion of Doom, seemingly. So yes, but yeah, Cheetah's left behind as a scapegoat. But everything else I said tracks. And yeah. So, and instead of worrying what the Legion of Doom stole because they think it's all wrapped up, it's all Cheetah's fault. Even though they do acknowledge it's a little bit weird that she was doing all this on her own. But as far as they know, that's what was going on. They're more concerned about finding Robin, and that's what leads into the cliffhanger with Robin showing up in present day. I can only assume that this young Robin's going to get his mind wiped when they send him back. Otherwise,
it has to be
shenanigans.
Also, Bruce gets hit. Bruce gets hit with because Scarecrow has a running joke throughout that made me laugh that they have a time ray. Why can't we just shoot somebody with it? And he ends up shooting at Bruce, right? And I think Green Lantern takes it too, or is that Robin?
No, Robin jumps in and takes it.
That's Robin. Okay, so it's Robin, and then that's
Oh yeah, that's what makes him travel through time, not the hammer. I thought it was the hammer before, but it's the ray gun. Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right. So again, I read this on a lot of cold medicine this week, so a lot of stuff wasn't adding up, probably because I couldn't really focus.
I mean, it
on what I was reading.
I mean, it made sense to me overall. Clearly, some of the details are fuddled in my brain as I'm trying to recount it because I read too many goddamn books today. But the overall gist of it, which is Robin gets beamed to the future. Grodd convinces the Legion of Doom to steal time travel trek so they can also travel to the future. Because Grodd didn't actually travel through time physically. He just sent his mind back to tell the others to do it. So it's not that complex. It sounds complex if you just, blurt it all out quickly, but it's... And
piecing it together later, it definitely was making him like, this is way too weird. But now that we went through the issue,
there was a whole Plastic Man fight that we kind of glossed over as well, just because I wanted to get through it in timely fashion. There's also like a page where there's a running joke where Batman's splitting the League into teams, and Robin's like, "Hey, I can lead a team. I can lead one of the teams," and Batman just ignores them and says, "Robin, you're with me," and he's like, "Ah."
That's putting the seeds for a Titans team.
Yeah. I will say, though, the downside to reading this right after the other chapter from Justice League Unlimited is that Dan McDaid's not a bad artist, but he's definitely not as good. So
as Travis Moore.
Moore. So the art definitely felt like a downgrade to me in this chapter. And it was immediate as well. Like the first couple of pages where you look at all those faces on the Legion of Doom, it just definitely were not as strong as the last
I like
issue.
his Scarecrow. His Scarecrow looks cool. So we'll give props there.
Yeah.
But
But I'm still digging the plot of this crossover. It's not like knocking my socks off necessarily, but I do think there's some fun stuff that could come out of Robin being in present day. Maybe he'll be able to help everyone because maybe his mind wasn't affected by like everyone will forget this and think it was just Cheetah thing, so he can actually fill them in. Maybe
he's the MacGuffin here now.
Yeah. Plus, what happens when Babs sees him? Assuming we get that scene at some point where she walks in and sees Little Dick.
Oh my god. Yeah.
I mean, she sees Little Dick a lot, but in a different context.
Yes, littler, I guess you could say.
I actually think there could be. I mean, they might not because it's too crude, but they may do a joke where she walks in, refers to him as Little Dick, and then grown up Dick's like, I don't like that name. Let's not use that name.
He just gives her a look, and she goes, "What?" Yeah. But yeah, that'd be very funny.
Yeah, that's decent enough. I'm having like I think because this crossover has more of like an actual plot that feels built out as opposed to just something then lots of fighting, which is what I think a lot of the world's finest plots have felt like recently.
Yeah.
So this feels a bit more focused and a bit more like there's a plan behind it, and he's even been building up to it with the Airwave and the Grodd stuff over the past bunch of issues. So that's nice. If anything, I would say the plot is more of a Justice League Unlimited plot. It just happens to include time traveling characters from the world's finest era as well. So it feels like it's a good crossover in that sense.
A time traveling, a mind time traveling ape.
Yes.
Definitely not on my bingo card for 2025.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. What were you rating the world's finest, Daniel?
I'll give this a straight 7.
Yeah, I think that's also fair. I think I'll honestly, I probably like the plot but equal to the Unlimited issue that we just did, but the art is definitely a step down. So I think for that alone, it goes down the half point at the very least. And even then, I'd probably say that the difference in art is a bit bigger than that. It's not bad, but it's definitely a little bit more old school, and it's not as I don't know. It's not like I get that the characters are meant to look old school because it's that style, but we've had like other art that's really good that still feels old school in design, but feels modern in its like skill and sensibilities.